Bontempelli stalks it. He protected English in the end. Nice work. Good grab. No Nat Nui for him to beat in this one tonight. I'm sure he received that news nicely when that was given to him a couple of hours ago.
That's what he's got to get back to, though. That sort of marking there. That's what Tim English, at the best version of him, is capable of doing.
Alex Keith. Johannesson looks up. There's not a lot on open side, so it comes back to Caleb Daniel. So they get it into the hands of their best ball user, but he doesn't have a lot of options that he likes. Gardner, Daniel, Gardner. Pulled that kick nicely to Rourke Smith. And he's got McRae on the outside. He missed him. Duggan. Not the required, so Gaff had to play on.
Well, up until that last kick intercepted by Duggan, it was a nice example of a bit of slice and dice with the short kick.
So Jetta to Waterman to Barras.
Now this is West Coast, just well-drilled, professional.
Sheed. They're trademark West Coast at the moment. Ainsworth. Shepherd. Bontempelli. Pretty good go here. The Bont can go. He looks up. He knows he's got Wallace. Gave a look around to consider his options, but going back and kicking the goal will, if he kicks it, give the Dogs the lead for the first time tonight.
Well, a total reversal of what we saw in the first quarter, and that is the Dogs frustrated the Eagles, and finally they gave the ball back with an intercept. That's a couple now in the last 3 minutes.
West Coast kicked the first 4 goals of the night. It's bending. Too much. Only behind Alistair Lynch.
Not good news for the West Coast Eagles. Mark Hutchings in the back of screen there. There's ice on his left hamstring or lower left leg, so that's not good news. He looks to be out for the day.
Yeah, just his 3rd game of the year. We know he's had some problems, so thanks for that, Lynchy. Barras kicks it down the line, but they're under pressure with each passing minute. The West Coast Eagles more pressure than they've been under all night.
You've got to hand it to the Bulldogs and their coaches and their players. Okay, we're a bit surprised that it wasn't implemented in the first quarter, given you've got the 3 or 4 days build-up. But to change it in the manner that they did at a quarter-time break is a credit to them. Change the way you play. And now it's become a bit of a tempo game, is that both sides are trying to take, because the Western Bulldogs don't want to turn it over, so they don't want to go too quick. The Eagles are trying to play their possession game down the other end, going the other way.
Gaff toes it off the deck, but umpire says deliberate. Free kick Dogs.
This is the big difference. West Coast can't get out of their back half. 75% of this quarter has been played in the Bulldogs' forward half.
Daniel goes inside. Johannesson. Dogs led early last week and were overrun by the Cats. They've come from behind nicely in this one. Long launch. Rotherham got up with a fist. Kelly. Rourke Smith gave it out. McRae. Daniel. Twists and turns around. Cole goes long. Wallace got up there. Made a contest. Ball in.
Well, it's right on the Dogs' terms at the present time, playing it in their forward half. And some of the great strengths of Darling and Kennedy aren't a factor right now because the ball is living at the other end of the ground.
And there's your time in forward half stats to back it up, Jared. 74%. Short throw in. Hickey with a delicate punch. Lloyd tracks it, gets it back. Aidan McLean on the back pedal. McRae, Daniel, the mongrel inside 50 might work. Bailey Smith couldn't handle it. The spinning ball. Lays the tackle though, keeps it in the area, dives back in to try and get it out, does, to Bontempelli, to Rourke Smith, to McRae, to Cordy, he can bang it forward, goes long, top of the square, Bruce down there, makes a contest, Hunter's got it, Hunter kicks it, for the first time tonight, the Dogs lead.
Mongrel it in, compete like blazers, get at the ground and then work your backside off until you get a result.
Well, that's spot on, Gaz, and whether it was deliberate or not, that dirty ball going inside forward 50 is certainly making a difference.
And they're being able to transition from a kick in to about the wing, but that's just about it. Getting flogged at clearances right now, getting belted at contested possession. They've got nothing in their favour at the moment, the Eagles.
Big fist of Hickey, fist of fury gets it out. And they can reset.
That's a huge turnaround in clearances. I think it was 10-5 from memory at quarter time. Flipped it right around.
Yeah, 10-5 in this quarter by in front of the Dogs.
English with a palm down to McRae. They can smell another one here, the Dogs. Libber puts the Jets on, opens it up. High fly, Rog Smith. Got in Bruce's way and they're both down. Bruce and Smith still on the deck. In the meantime, Cole, an ugly bounce. Bailey Smith collects it. He's got a couple of forwards on the deck but can't go for the mark if they get it in there. Johannesson puts it up long. They're both up. Norton, Bruce, he's bounced up. He's kicked it towards goal. He hasn't. He's kicked it towards the pocket. And it's stumped out of play.
Well, he was that keen to get it through. He just rushed everything there, Josh Bruce. But, there's a bit of friendly fire for the Dogs. They are right in control of this match. Just got to put the score on the board.
Little palm back from English. Harder. Williams gets it from Johannesson, and he finds Daniel, who's beyond his range, inside the last minute of the half.
He's had 10 kicks, 10 possessions in this term, 7 kicks.
And he does exactly what the West Coast Eagles were hoping he'd do.
That wasn't his finest.
Barras.
Look at that West Coast forward line. It is empty. It is devoid of personnel.
Thanks, Aaron.
So Rotham says, let's calm it down, boys. We can reset, go in, have a cordial, get ready for the second half. Crozier with the big fly. Ryan looks up and he's got Gaff on the run. Didn't have anyone to slap it on to, but the boundary line's not such a bad result for both teams with 21 seconds left.
Well, they're clearly getting beaten on the ground at the moment, the West Coast Eagles, and they've had their aerial game taken away from them, and they're going to have to find a strength that works for them in this second half, Lynchy.
Back into play. Come down here shortly, Lynchy. Hickey caught. Kelly's caught by Liberatore. Seconds tick down to 10. Archie looks up. Needs to get it inside 50 in a hurry. Pop to the square. It's wide. Almost. There's Darling back with the play. And the siren sounds on an amazing opening half. The West Coast Eagles kicked the first 4 goals of the game, and the Bulldogs have hit back hard.
Score review.
The majority of the
scoring
shots.
Behind.
We're just checking the score.
Big cross to behind, not out of bounds.
Review underway.
Checking to see if it touched the padding or not.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, there appears to be a gap as the ball passes the post. Decision on the scoreboard.
So the behind counts. So half-time Metricon Stadium in this round 16 contest. Top of the table battle. The West Coast Eagles trying to get into the top 4. Bulldogs trying to get into the top 8. And Melbourne will be trying to get into the top 8 tomorrow night as the footy frenzy continues.
Venturing to a place footy never thought would go.
There is an element of the unknown.
Who would have thought the sequel would be just as good as the original? That's epic. Forget the past, this is all about the now. Soak that up wherever you are. The rise continues. They needed a hero, they find one.
Gonna be a long drive, mate.
A certain kind of light that never shone on me.
Not yet, mate.
You don't know what it's like.
Back to sleep.
Baby, you don't know what it's like.
Yeah, Lewis, this is the one.
To love somebody to love somebody.
One's excited to see that.
The drive home. Everyone's asleep thanks to a full weekend of recreation. Not Mum, though. He did promise to keep her company. Was it rude to wake him? Maybe. Incoming cattle grid, a.k.a. the alarm clock. Ha! Thank you, Roads of Australia. The Toyota RAV4, the return of recreation. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
You got to stop renting, son. When your mum and I got our first place, I went straight to the bank. I said, if you don't give me a loan on the spot, I'll walk. Oh, no, mistake. Bad mistake. You've got to play hardball, son. It's the only way.
There are other ways.
With an Aussie broker, you can find the right home loan with access to more than 3,000 products from over 20 lenders. Go straight to Aussie.
From Newcastle to Norseman, from Gundagai to Goolwa, from engines to industrial, mining to manufacturing, and from farming to finished food. Fuchs, technology that pays back.
In this Sunday's all-new Escape lift-out, we're for helping Aussies get away again. Actress Miranda Tapsell shares her travel stories and why Darwin's still her favourite, plus 10 brilliant flower trails to see this spring, this Sunday in Escape.
Monopoly game at Macca's is here, and it feels so good to be back. With our biggest prize pool ever, you could peel your way to over 1 million Big Mac burgers, a new Volkswagen T-Cross, and shopping vouchers for the iconic and Oztail. Peel, play and win at Macca's today.
Half-time all squared away. That's the West Coast room in there, and the forward line group, they'll be sitting there saying we didn't see the ball for the whole quarter. The Western Bulldogs did a fantastic job. 22 points down at quarter time, flipped it on its head in the second quarter, owned territory and got themselves back square, which is a fantastic performance. Luke Beveridge would be over the moon with that result. Caleb Daniels been a star. I think Dermot Brereton's got him in his sights. Jack McRae's been doing what he's been doing for a long, long time. Alistair Lynch is with Luke Beveridge.
Bevo, it looked like in that second term you were really able to change the tempo of the game.
Yeah, we did. We definitely... we're defending pretty well as a team, actually, keeping them outside of their 50, and we started to win clearances, and we've got a slight advantage there at the end of the quarter. So really happy with field position, but when the numbers are crammed up in our forward line, we're not necessarily making the most of our choices and our opportunities. So if we can capitalise on some of those and create a few more in the next quarter, then hopefully we can get on top.
Was that an instruction at quarter time to avoid McGovern and Barras and their intercept marking?
We've been working on a few things every week, regardless. I think most teams have got pretty good key defenders. Yep. So, I think with Brucey and Norts down there, we're pretty confident that we can at least bring the ball to ground. So it's disappointing at the end of the quarter they do get that intercept through Barras. So we'll continue to be measured when we need to, but we want to play quick at times and cut through them when we get the opportunity.
No worries. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Lynchy.
Done a fantastic job, Luke Beveridge and his group in the second quarter. Dermot Brereton joins us. Jared Healy, I know, Derm, you've got some strong thoughts about who should be playing on Caleb Daniel and some territory. On a hold fire there. First quarter, they didn't take ground when they had the opportunity to.
No, they gave the West Coast Eagles everything that they wanted. And one example was JJ. They just kept on playing to the Eagles' strength. JJ is a great running defender, and yet here's his opportunity to run. He could have taken this ball on. He could have run up to the forward 50 and kicked it over the head of Will Hayes, who would have then set up the Chinese checker move. In the finish, he has to go for Mark of the Year. The ball gets turned around, and this was their great strength in the first quarter, the Eagles. They intercepted, they played in their forward half, they went forward, and they kicked it into an empty forward line and got a goal just about every time they went inside field 50.
11 inside 50s for the half, the lowest inside 50 count under Adam Simpson ever.
That does not surprise me. 8 of them were in the first quarter, as you said. So 8 inside 50s, got away 5 shots at goal for 4 goals. That conversion is brilliant, and that is on the back of having 2 key forwards who played the best part of 500 games together. They know their craft. They know the way to go about it. But if you only give them 11 inside 50s in the second half, they are not going to win this game. Problem was the ball was going the other way. And once it goes the other way, as we know this style of modern football, you lock the ball in. You squeeze up and compress behind it. The Eagles lost their structure, and whether it was Archie or whether it was Jetta, somebody's got to be accountable for little Caleb Daniel. Because what he is brilliant at setting the ball up. So if you allow him 17 uncontested possessions through the middle of the ground, putting the ball forward, he's going to set it up to best advantage.
Thought Hutchings was going to him, but he's not now. He's on the bench with a hamstring. He didn't go to him at all, Jared. The way they went forward was different. I mean, Luke Beveridge is playing his cards close to his chest, but there's no question that they erred on the side of along the ground or not so specifically in the air, and this was a great setup. Dunkley along the ground. This is the worst part of the West Coast game. Ball on ground.
Indeed it was. And they ended up with the double slam Dunkley with him getting the first kick across the ground and then got the handball received. Liver's been fantastic all game. Really did come to the fore and he was involved in that. So too Dunkley, though. A different sort of forward, Dermot. One who can get it on the deck and who's capable in the air.
He's a good size too, isn't he? And we've seen him actually take the odd ruck hit out. Not tonight, but you can do that as well.
So much at stake, got themselves back into the contest magnificently well, and there's an opportunity there because Melbourne Footy Club have given them that opportunity. They get their chance to make amends tomorrow night when they take on the Fremantle team up in Cairns. Melbourne, Fremantle, 7 o'clock, Fox Footy tomorrow night.
Get smart about housework. Take control with the sleek, intelligent Dyson V11 Outsize, boasting a 25% wider cleaner head, a 150% larger dustbin, and up to 60 minutes of fade-free power. It's also packed with innovative technology that automatically adjusts motor speed to suit the floor surface, and an optional interchangeable battery for longer runtime. And just point and shoot when you're done. Order your Dyson V11 now with a 45-day satisfaction guarantee. Now at Harvey Norman.
Hey, I've been held up.
Yeah, don't worry.
What have you got there?
The new T-Roc. You'll just want one. Volkswagen.
Maltesers buttons. Find them in store now.
That's why me have to sing this. Do what you wanna do. I can tell you, but it's I can do. It's your thing. Do what you want.
Gonna be a long drive, mate.
A certain kind of light that never shone on me.
Not yet, mate.
You don't know what it's like.
Back to sleep,
Baby, you don't know what it's like.
Yeah, Louis, this is the one.
To love somebody. To love somebody.
One's excited to see that.
When you see something like that for the first time, it's only natural to want to do it yourself. To live that life. Capable. Powerful. In control. That confidence. You just want to follow. I'm no different. I'll get there.
Not right now, obviously, but one day.
Oh, should I? With great flavour and 50% less fat, it's easy to say, oh yes. Go on. Say yes to new Smith's Oven Baked.
We all remember our first time.
that feeling when... So many things have changed recently. We all have to adapt. But now it starts again. A clean sheet, a fresh start, a new battle. We'll watch it, feel it, dream it.
Love it, like the first time.
Wild style overdrive.
We've got a lot of belief that we're a good team, but they've been the best team in the competition for a long time and are hitting their stride at the moment, as far as I can see. So it'll be a good contest, I hope. But we think that we've got a pretty robust system. We've got a lot of respect for theirs as well. So it should be a good battle. I mean, they've got good players. I know it'll be built up, and it'll be really good for our guys to be a part of a game like that with the pressure on. It'll be different to what we're used to late in the season in Melbourne against the Tigers, but nonetheless, it's a great challenge, and we're really looking forward to it.
Chris Scott, after a comprehensive 66-point victory, it's going to be built up, Scotty. Make no mistake, we haven't got much to get excited about down here in Melbourne, and we will be excited. Johnny Ralph, about Richmond and Geelong on Friday night. Will Gary Rowan be there?
Well, Geelong just mauled Essendon today, didn't they? An old-fashioned 11-goal smacking. Now, that was the only concern, Gary Rowan, with what turned out to be a tight quad. He did set out the last quarter, and a few of the Geelong fans would have been worried, given his form. Completely precautionary, according to Chris Scott. Now, Zach Toohey and Reece Stanley were laid out today. They will play. Joel Selwood is 50-50. He's probably fit, but they're just giving him an extra week with that knee issue. Now, Irving Mosquito, one of the bright sparks for the Essendon Football Club, but his knee buckled on him, and the expectation, according to Essendon, is that he's done his ACL and will miss all of 2021. So if GWS beats Adelaide on Tuesday, then their finals hopes are dashed. Now, as to their coach, for the next 2 weeks, of course, and before that handover, now John Worsfold, he said, we were probably never going to win the premiership anyway. Here he is.
There is a gap between where we're at and the top sides. I think not many people said that we were going to be a top 4 team this year, and that's because they believe there's a gap between our squad and what the best squads are, and that comes from age and experience. I think Geelong, in terms of their experience tonight, was maybe 3 seasons per player on average more than us. That's a massive amount to concede an opposition. That's like an under-24 team playing against an under-21 team.
Now, Gary, Brisbane has been rocked by a 6-week hamstring injury to Harris Andrews, the All-Australian fullback, now potentially only back for a preliminary final. Zach Butters has been suspended for 2 weeks for his high hit on Jai Simpkin. Now, the AFLPA adamant today there will not be a fine paid by Sydney Stack and Callum Coleman-Jones. There's no negotiation over that COVID breach. They are done, and the AFLPA Integrity Department will interview Sydney's Elijah Taylor over domestic violence allegations in coming days. There you go. Massive news day.
Comprehensive, as always, Ralphie. Well done. Got plenty of footy still in this one. A lot at stake. Top 8 spots, top 4 spots, all tied away. The Dogs are clawed back a 22-point deficit. What's in store for the second half?
The drive home. Everyone's asleep thanks to a full weekend of recreation. Not Mum, though. He did promise to keep her company. Was it rude to wake him? Maybe. Incoming cattle grid, a.k.a. the alarm clock. Ha! Thank you, Roads of Australia. The Toyota RAV4, the return of recreation. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Guys, dinner!
Yes.
Nintendo Switch. Play, connect.
At Coles, you can lower the cost of your weekly shop with thousands of specials across the store this week, like the Oral-B Pro 100 cross-action electric toothbrush, including its own travel case, now half price. Coles, good things, great value.
Nescafe Blend 43 is made right here in country Queensland. Robusta and Arabica roasted individually, then brought together for the perfect cup. Nescafe Blend 43, the perfect blend of bold and smooth.
Big Jack, now at Hungry Jack's. Bigger, better, flamier. Special sauce and flame-grilled Aussie beef. Think you can handle it? Meet the Mega Jack. For a limited time at Hungry Jack's, the burgers are better.
That's not good. Right.
A shout out to our Steel Blue legends. You keep the wheels turning and the country running. You've got our backs and we've got your feet. Steel Blue boots, built for comfort, made for work.
Let's get this party started. A brand new decade of supercar action begins. An absolute disaster for Boston. Ridiculous incident. This is a great battle. Big celebration, Scott McLaughlin.
Come on. Cheers, Dermy. No problem.
I'm sick of it. I'm going and I'm never coming back.
Download the free Foxtel Go app to watch anywhere, anytime.
Boone, big spelling competition tonight. How do you think you're going to go?
Andrew, I was one of Wagga's greatest and brightest students, so I think I'll be fine.
Oh, please, have a look at the size of the fonts. It's full of knowledge and IQ. I've got this covered.
Minus 12 on the inside 50s. Yeah. What was your assessment of that first half?
Oh, they were all over us. Yeah, we lost touch with the hammy, so we're trying to reshuffle the deck chairs on that, but yeah, there's just too much run for us around the ground level. So the beauty of it is it's equal. So we can restart and reload. But yeah, we need to get a bit better.
What was the major focus point for the second half then at half time?
Well, we need some field position. So we don't care how it gets in there. Just give us some supply. So they're making it difficult for us. We're going to try and find a way through.
No worries. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Lynchy.
West Coast coach Adam Simpson. They lost Nick Nat-Nui before the bounce. They've lost Mark Hutchings during this game. So they're down a rotation. And now Hickey and English to go at it. If you've just tuned in, West Coast kicked the first 4 goals of this game, but the Dogs have dominated field position and possession since. And we're underway, second half. Great to have your company for Sunday night footy as this frenzy continues. And this whole game has been played at a frenzied pace. So we expect that to continue. Top 4 on offer for the West Coast. They win this game, they're into the top 4. The Dogs win this game, they're into the top 8. Redden outside of the boot. Getting there, taking the mark. Bailey Williams.
He'd be frustrated with that one, coach of the Eagles. They got the clearance and yet straight into the hands of the Dogs.
Ed Richards puts it to half forward. Good contest, Dunkley. And caught Shepherd. McLean caught Redden. Rollum couldn't catch the Sharon. Still there. 2 Dogs fighting for it. Not such a bad sign. Bruce got it from Liberatore. Gaff brings him down. Little wrestling move. Kept it in the area.
Well, the reason he'd be frustrated, we just heard Adam Simpson say, we don't care how we get it in there, we just want it in there. And Redden half pulled his kick.
He did. Jenner, he was caught. He didn't kick it. Holding the ball. Bontempelli free. Within range.
They're going to taste the Dogs. They've got a dead set taste here.
Well, when you go in at half-time and then Luke Beveridge can present the numbers to his team and say, look, this is what is happening, this is where they are at, they've got no field, just confirms all of the planning and it just rubber stamps it. This is like a captain's goal. This is the goal that Marcus Bontempelli has to kick.
Set sail, looks pretty good off the boot. Hasn't got there. Punch back into play perhaps by Bruce. Flicked out. Hunter, he bends it back, goal square. Bruce gets up there and they flick it through.
There's nothing wrong with the kick, Jared. Just didn't get there.
No, it was a good kick. Got the umpire, though. He went to the ground.
So Bruce seemed to get the piece of it to knock it back into play.
So how can they transition the ball? That's the great challenge. They could not get it out of their defence in the second quarter. Couldn't win it from clearance. So the question is, how do they get it into their forward half?
Unrealistic lead. So Gardner went for the fly, free kick, West Coast Eagles.
All credit to the way the Western Bulldogs defended, Jared. So I think change of direction is an option that they've got to start looking at. But right now, down the line is a pretty crowded proposition. Look at those Dogs men down there.
Big fist knocked it back down by Gardner, and Archie had a couple of attempts at a handball. The first two were pats, and he got away with it. Bouncing ball to half forward, ball in.
So you'd hope they get a bit more imaginative than that with Jack Darling. Now, again, take nothing away from the way the Western Bulldogs are defending down the line and clearly defending through the middle of the ground as well.
Hickey and English tie up. Hickey ripped it out of the air, gets a kick away to the wing. No mark paid. Ainsworth got it up just in time. Archie tried to flick the handball through the eye of a needle. Gaff caught. That's caught a handball. Ball in. Great intensity, and you'd expect that with the Dogs playing for a spot in the 8. The West Coast Eagles playing for a spot top 4.
Sorry, Brad. It also might mean they've got to change their mentality from a 4-goal first quarter that was going their own way to now they're just going to have to grind and get their hands dirty.
Marcus Bontempelli starting to find it, but he turns that over. That might be on the full. It is. So free kick, Dogs to Hayes. Will Hayes, game number 2 for the year. Trying to hold his spot in this lineup. Sits it up in hope. Norton got there late and plucked by Archie, standing in the hole. And Hayes might be the jumper again. Flying Ryan went up with a fist. Well, that's on the full, is it? Looked on the full. Yep, it is. So Williams caught up with his boot. Darling.
And Darling has really come up the ground. They're going to need some run from different areas. Flying Ryan may have to be running Ryan rather than going the fly. Stay on the deck a little bit more. This bloke up the ground, he can play as a tall mid.
McRae puts it back out towards half-back. Norton comes down from half-forward. Made the contest, made the second contest. Bailey Smith, who started the game and this third term on the bench.
Bit stiff there, I thought, Norton. Looked like he had his hand chopped, but umpire didn't agree.
English with a climb. Bontempelli throws it out. Kelly reddened around the body. Ryan says it fisted away. Big time by Cordy. To Lloyd. To Johannesson. To open space and Dunkley. Kind bounce. Handball target back. Hunter. Now Rourke Smith. He's got 2 to beat. Good contest. High on Redden though. Overcommitted.
He's working hard, Dunkley. He's effectively playing the centre-half forward role at the moment, hitting up to the sort of the Toyota signs on the wing and then pushing back.
Williams, Keith, Bailey Smith just turns inside. Gardner
got the extra number out this side too.
Bontempelli leaves it for Hayes. He protected him. Hayes called him out, which is brave. Heads toward Norton in the pocket, or Bruce in the pocket. Waterman gets back to help out. To McGovern, who's captaining the West Coast tonight. Allen gets up. Great hands.
Well, that's one way of transitioning it. That is their preferred method, and that's kick mark.
Yeah, it was high on Darling.
Redden and Darling have really had a great start. Looks like Waterman has gone into defence. He's involved in every score, it seemed, in the first quarter.
Sets it up long. Kennedy got to the pack late, and English has marked that. Or maybe he hasn't. I thought he did. He still thinks he's marked it. And now it's holding the ball.
Well, you can't, when it hasn't been paid, you can't start arguing and think you're going to talk him into it. You've got to try and
they normally cut you a bit of slack. Allen, Bontempelli, Smith, Johannesson,
Lloyd made Hunter go down and get it.
Look at this spread, though. Look at this run and spread from the back half. It's back on the Western Bulldogs' terms right now.
Roy Smith to Dunkley. Hands it inside. Bailey Smith. McRae. Bontempelli. Will he go for home? He does go for home. And he doesn't get it home. Well, they had the opportunity. Oscar Allen, it was a beautiful kick. It's very unusual for that young bloke to drop a mark, but it was the shot at goal they were working towards.
What about the template, though, the way they came back, the Dogs? That's exactly how the Western Bulldogs like to have the game played.
Here it is. He marks that, they get a shot, and the Dogs win it back from there. They've got 100 people running at the goals. They should have had a shot. Archie with a bullet. Bounced off the chest of Allen, kept it alive. Hunter to Williams. They tightrope the boundary to Bontempelli. Just had a crack from here, looks inside, goes for Norton, but too shallow. Barras. That's a beautiful grab under that pressure. Yeah, I don't think Adam Simpson would be that happy that blokes were walking through tackles there. That's just opening them up. And once again, they were lucky they weren't scored against.
So they've got midfield dominance through McRae and Daniel off the back half and Bailey Smith. Is Marcus Bontempelli just having a little smell forward at the moment with McGovern?
Hannison with the palm down to Keith. To the feet of English, who lays a tackle on Duggan. Slung him 360. Lloyd picks their pocket. Brilliant smother. Rotham on Smith and Kelly with Hayes. See it out.
I love that, Jared. I love it right now. Bontempelli, you can just see him over the back. He's gone forward, which means McGovern doesn't get to play off him. McGovern plays honest on Bontempelli. They've got advantage. I like that coaching. That's aggressive.
Fist down to Liberatore. Jams it on the boot. Bontempelli stalking it. Archie's coming at him. Bont gets away. Pops the kick to the pocket. No free. Wallace goes down. Shepherd goes down. Wallace attacks it and takes it out. Jack Redden's had 14. He's working really hard. Waterman's had a pretty good game. Really good game in the first quarter. He's had 11. And if the Eagles are to find a way to win, it's going to be the likes of Kelly and Duggan and Gaff and Archie who really have to lift their work rate. Duggan gets it outside, defensive 50, little nudge on Kennedy. He felt for contact and that was superb. Great experience. Another one. Flying Ryan's another. Just guys who only had half a dozen possessions who have got to share the workload with so many out and also with Hutchins being out tonight. Kennedy gets some protection so he can kick it longer. Big pack, and that's a great grab, Keith. That's a true pack mark.
He's developed, hasn't he, this year? I mean, he was a third tall defender with Adelaide.
McLean, back to Keith. And there you go. That's what the pressure can do. The West Coast Eagles have upped the pressure.
That's what happens when the centre-half back gets involved with the handball game. That's nice for the Western Bulldogs. That's up where they need it to be.
Hickey front spot. Tackle late on O'Neill.
And Adam Simpson called for it. We just want territory. We want position. They've only had the 2 inside 50s so far for the quarter. 13 inside 50s for the game, the West Coast Eagles.
McRae to Hunter. Getting back Barras. Got a palm on it but couldn't mark it. Norton looks up. Liberatore on the run. Lloyd. Well, he didn't have the drop punt he needed. Shepherd. That was superb. Got to Nelson. And they find Ainsworth. Brilliant. Good recovery there from Nelson. He was right under the pump. He'd made a blue earlier in the game. But that was really cool. Ainsworth to Ryan.
There's ball on the ground again though, Jared, in the Dogs forward 50.
Inside kick, dangerous. Sheed makes it work. Gave it up to O'Neill. Now out wide, he's got the runner. Jetta can go. Looks up, he's got Hickey. He knows he's got to get it back from him, surely. No. Hickey decides to pass it to Kennedy. Didn't quite work. Kennedy nearly marked it. Williams. Hunter. Smith. Geez, they're really working deep, the Bulldogs. You heard the names. Hunter and Smith really deep and helping out the defence. Rourke Smith to Daniel, who is corralled. And now it's downfield.
So just had a look at those ground ball numbers. In the forward half, it's 36-13. Ground balls in favour of the Western Bulldogs. So get it to the ground here. There's McGovern to the right on his own. Don't kick it there.
So Liberatore pulls that kick short. Hayes collects it. Gave it to McRae. To English. Duggan blasts it away in hope, and he finds Darling.
The Bulldogs are just letting the West Coast Eagles off the hook here. They're getting smashed. 13 scoring shots to 6, yet there's only 2 points difference in this game.
Bryan kept that alive, and he bullet passes that to Kennedy.
That is just an A-grade kick. You go back to the other end and you see Tim English. They set that up beautifully, Jared. So they had McGovern down the line. English goes to the 25 out from goal. They kick it to him and he drops the mark. This is what happens. Ball goes down the other end for just the 14th time it goes inside 50. And now the West Coast got a chance to take an unlikely lead.
The West Coast Eagles have kicked 1 point since quarter time. Kennedy from the paint. Pulls it near side. Behind. So still no goal since quarter time for the West Coast Eagles. They get an opportunity to keep the ball in. We haven't seen this for about 40 minutes of game time. Caleb Daniel. Crozier. Dangerous. McLean. Daniel. Gets it outside 50. Crunch. No free. Gaff feeds it back. Jetta. Duggan. Pokes it back to the pocket. Keith got there late with the knuckles. Gets it out. Well, it was a really good effort by Duggan. Went back with a fly to the ball. Sorted the kick out to their advantage. Just weren't able to quite convert it.
Western Bulldogs, yep. Josh, thank you.
So Dunkley will do the ruck work here. Darling against him. Paddled forward. Hunter knew exactly where it was going. Sends it out wide. Almost trapped by McGovern. Trapped by Hayes. Bang! Ran into a brick wall in Allen.
Well, that's more like it.
Cleaned up nicely.
That's more like it. Getting someone to confront this Western Bulldogs back half when they come out of their defence. They haven't had anything like this from the West Coast Eagles since quarter time.
Allen climbs high, but down to Dunkley. To Smith, who goes off the deck. Hayes on hands and knees. Redden jumps in. Hayes got there first. No free against him. Quickly tossed in the air. Dunkley got there. Flicked it down. Smith weaves through one. Got past another. Got one to the ear. No free kick paid. McLean floats it towards half forward. Liberatore. Hunter. So Western Bulldogs do get a free from the wing now. It'll be coming back. Duggan and Liberatore having a chat.
It's an extraordinary scoreline. 3 goals to 4. Well into the nearly at three-quarter time.
Yeah, no goals so far in this term. Bontempelli spears it to the pocket, and again the pick-off marking ability of the West Coast Eagles shines through. Cole goes wide to Nelson.
I agree with you, Gaz. I reckon the biggest red flag is in the Western Bulldogs coach's box at the moment. They are doing so much right, but being a 1 point up when West Coast can't play any worse.
So Duggan to Ryan. Puts the Jets on. Blasts his way down the spine. Heads wide to Jetta. He can go. Got the short pass option. And he hits Kennedy. Lace out with a ribbon on it. Yeah, that's what they have to do. Find another way to go forward. And Klein Ryan is now running Ryan, hopefully, because they're going to have to share the load. They've run out of runners. They need to share it and find some others who are going to contribute.
Now, right-hand goalpost, Lynchy tells us. Every miss has been to the left so far. So when are you going to make the adjustment?
Yep.
I mean, hard to criticise a man like that, but I mean, you've got to be aware that everything's going left-hand goalpost, to the left-hand side. If you're going to make an error, make it out to the right.
Bailey Williams.
Right on the half.
Hemmed into that side. He's looking at options. Open side, but there's not a lot on offer. So he kicks it into the congestion. Hickey got there late with a fist, got it down. Norton tried to fly. Richards got the handball off. Redden content to see it out. Well, he's working overtime. Redden needs a few to come with him. Gomsheed, just the one touch. Gaff, just the one touch in this term. They're doing well with those numbers to be in touch with the Dogs. Bruce does the ruck work. She got it up good, hard clash, no free. Smith to half forward at 2-on-2.
Holding West Coast.
West Coast ball. Dogs are yet to get a big scalp this season. They've lost to all the big guns. Port, Brisbane, Richmond, Geelong, Collingwood, St Kilda. Lose tonight, they will have lost to every one of the top 7 teams in the comp. They've got a big chance here to beat one, though.
When's the last time a team went in at three-quarter time with 3 goals and they were in front?
I dare say, Gaz, it's happened a bit in recent times, perhaps.
Maybe back in the 60s when there was mud up to your knees. It's unbelievable what we're seeing these days. 6 goals won on Friday night to 5.
Redden. Inside 2 minutes. In a goalless quarter so far. Sidestep McGovern was delightful. Kick not so. Well, how was that paid 15? To Jenner. And he blasted long. Darling. Kept in. Still alive for Archie. His attempt at a handball. Almost as good as Darling's attempt at that mark. Didn't quite come off. Kennedy. He sidesteps a couple, not 15 this time. Darling kicked it over his head and nearly kicked it on the full. Comedy of errors that minute. Even the coach thinks it's funny. It's his Bermuda Triangle. 3 metres out is not Jack Darling's strong point.
Look at Adam Simpson. He's seen some handballing and kicking in that passage of play that he hadn't seen since under 10s.
Back into play, though. Big seconds ticking down here to three-quarter time. Redden had a chance. Kelly. Sheed. He's got plenty on that. He's got all of it. And boy, did they need it. First goal for the West Coast since quarter time.
Well, when the ball's been bumbling around in the manner that it is, there's the only man that you need to get the ball in the hands of, and that's the man with the ice through his veins in Dom Sheed. And he hit it and flushed it beautifully. It has been hard fought and hard won. First goal, as Dwayne said, since the first quarter. The Western Bulldogs have done everything right. Lynchy's called it, all night. They've had the ball inside 50, just haven't converted, and this was always going to be the danger. The danger is you dominate for the quarter, you dominate field position, you dominate inside 50s. You've had 31 inside 50s to 18. Yet when you've only kicked 3 goals, you leave yourself open to that. 8 scoring shots to 13. You're trailing by 5 points.
Had a good 5 or 6 minutes, though, the Eagles. Have had a little bit of territory. Couldn't find the goals, though. And on the back of a Jack Darling special, Dom Sheed has delivered what he does so well.
It's huge. This is so much at stake here for both sides. Taking your opportunity is going to be the key.
English with the secondary knockdown. 60 seconds left. Redden got one high. He has just led from the front, Redden. Darling's been really good as well. Outside of one kick. But this bloke, from the very opening bounce, has really led the charge. Clock starts ticking again, and he heads out wide. Ryan, little run up, but then he stayed down. Ainsworth the crummer, meeting the sandwich, going nowhere. So he's clearly throwing them around. Ainsworth was in defence early in the game. Waterman was in attack. Waterman's been back. He is just looking for a mix, Adam Simpson, to find their way to goal. Liberatore squeezes it out, gets it to the wing, fist on by Dunkley. McGovern. Bruce was right with him, put the pressure on. Bruce gets it back, sees the handball target. Dunkley, Wallace, open goal, slams it home. One against the grain for the Dogs. And I reckon that's when the Dogs forward line works at its absolute best when the ball is on the deck. The ground level players instinctively know what they're doing. This is Dunkley, it's the bomb. Josh Bruce is involved, putting pressure on, and that's okay. That's all he had to do. Got the handball away, and then a pretty clever kick over the top to Mitch Wallace, who continues to get the job done.
37 ground balls to 16 in the forward half, Jared. 37 to 16. This is their strength. This is the Eagles' weakness. So play to it. And every time they do, they look let's say, put it this way, they look less assured than they do with ball in air. And that's as kind as we can be. And I hope Josh Dunkley puts his hand out for a fair pay pack at the end of this game. He's rucked.
Yep.
He's played centre half forward and he's played in the centre. He's done it all. Mitch Wallace continues to do what he's done all year. And against a very, very good player, he's a multiple goal scorer now for the night. On a night where they've kicked 4, he's got half of it.
So the Dogs back in front by a point. Seconds left to three-quarter time. Pivotal battle between these two. Hickey gets up. Clearance is huge here. Kelly gets it. Gave it to Gaff. Slams it to half forward. And a low mark to Darling. And he will have the last save of the quarter. And there was Tim Kelly getting to work. It was a loose ball. He picked it up. He fed it back to Gaff. And long kick. And right from the opening bounce as well with Redden, Jack Darling has also been up and about, playing a long way up the ground and getting back. He's dangerous at centre clearances, and generally he's a fantastic shot at goal. So this kick to get the lead back. They led by as much as 22 points at quarter time, and he's kicked it into the man on the mark, trying to get closer to goal. And they're happy with that, the Dogs. That's a win for them. They lead at three-quarter time by the barest possible margin. Sunday night footy evolving into a classic. Dogs by a point.
Venturing to a place footy never thought would go.
There is an element of the unknown.
Who would have thought the sequel would be just as good as the original?
That's epic.
Forget the past, this is all about the now.
Soak that up wherever you are.
The rise continues.
They needed a hero, they find one.
Right now, NAB's 2-year fixed rate home loan is our lowest fixed rate ever. Why now? Well, if ever people have needed more clarity around their home loan, it's today. And the more of that we can give, the more our customers can get on with life. So this home loan isn't just an historically low rate. It's far more than that. Because what is money for, if not for a home? NAB, more than money.
The Iconic. The ultimate destination for all your wardrobe essentials. The best of Australia's fashion, sports and kids wear. All your favourite brands. All your favourite sneakers. With easier than ever COVID-safe shopping with free returns. And all the toys to keep them busy. theiconic.com.au.
Get ready for outdoor living at Harvey Norman with a new barbecue. Our new season range includes portable barbecues, perfect to just pick up and go. Tried and tested trolley barbecues in a full range of sizes and features. Discover the delicious rewards of low and slow charcoal grilling. Outdoor kitchens are the ultimate choice for entertaining at home. You can even design your own custom outdoor kitchen. Plus, get 60 months interest free and receive a bonus gift card up to $500. Now at Harvey Norman.
Raspberry? Blueberry? Or why not both? At Macca's, there are 36 frozen Fanta flavours to discover for just $1. You can mix your favourites or enjoy a frozen Coke. A little goes a long way at Macca's.
Dinner, a constant struggle, wasting time buying food you don't need. Life getting in the way of eating well. Unable to satisfy your picky eater? Stuck in a rut of the same recipes over and over again. With HelloFresh, dinner is better. Pre-portioned, fresh ingredients, easy recipes, and delicious meals that everyone enjoys. Ready to change your routine? Order your first box today at hellofresh.com.au. Inspiration delivered.
Big Jack. Now at Hungry Jack's. Bigger, better, flamier. Special sauce and flame-grilled Aussie beef. Think you can handle it? Meet the Mega Jack. For a limited time at Hungry Jack's, the burgers are better.
A shout out to our steel blue legends. You dig deep every day to put the roofs over our heads. You've got our backs and we've got your feet. Steel blue boots. Built for comfort, made for work.
He did promise to keep her company. Was it rude to wake him? Maybe. Thank you, Roads of Australia. The Toyota RAV4, the return of recreation. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
We have information that your client may have tucked away a very large sum of money. He's gonna go on a rampage.
We made a promise. Someday we was gonna make it big.
Rented now on Foxtel Store.
Australia, they've been completely outplayed by England.
Two very proud, passionate nations who share one obsession, and that is the game of cricket.
Unbelievable! What a performance from Australia.
Huge last quarter coming up in the context of the season for these two. The Dogs desperately need the win to get inside the top 8. The West Coast Eagles lose this. A spot in the top 4 might not be achievable either. It is massive. Great to have your company wherever you might be watching. Prime time Sunday night footy. And it looks like going down to the wire. 1 point margin at three-quarter time.
And sometimes you've got to win in different ways, Jared. Sometimes your strength isn't right there for you. Now, you mentioned Johannesson early in the game about the fact that, and that's an obvious one. That's just his MO. This is what makes him a really good player. His run and carry. He didn't take the yards up. The ball gets turned over. So the learnings there from the Western Bulldogs. But right now, it's not happening for the West Coast Eagles in their normal manner. The kick mark game's not there, so they've got to find some different way to go forward.
And that's what Adam Simpson said. We'll take entries into the forward line anyway. And this bloke backed his strength. We know him as a marking player, but they have got to get some run from somewhere. And Liam Ryan was superb, got it in quickly. It gets an open forward line, and that's what they wanted. That's what they got in the first quarter. How can they get it in quickly in the last quarter? Two methods. You can go from the stoppage, something that they haven't been able to do that easily, or you can run and carry it like we just saw. Alistair Lynch downstairs.
Thanks, Dwayne. Yeah, I mean, big last quarter for both teams in the context of the West Coast Eagles for top 4 and the Western Bulldogs to keep their season alive, realistically. It'll come down to moments. I mean, the Western Bulldogs have played all over the West Coast Eagles for most of the night, but they're missing their opportunities from these shots at goal. They kicked 4, they've missed 8 behinds. 5 of them haven't scored at all, and there's been a couple of rush behinds as well. This last quarter, no doubt, will come down to moments. It's which club can actually take up the pressure and capitalise on their opportunities. Now, the Western Bulldogs, this is when they're at their very best, when they're moving the ball quickly, clear out their forward line to a one-on-one situation. On this occasion, it was Wallace who was the one down there by himself, got out the back, ran it in, and kick the goal from inside 5 metres. I think they've got to convert those opportunities when they get the chance. Massive quarter. The Western Bulldogs will be kicking with a slight breeze in this last term.
He's been good. Mitch Wallace has been fantastic all year. He's in the All-Australian conversation, and in a season where goals are, where one's worth 2, Jared, that's what this sort of season we're having. Those 2 are worth 4 tonight. And those shots at goal are all from a pocket because they don't want to go where McGovern is, so you kind of half accept that a little bit, but again, that is the way they need to go forward. The ground ball stuff tells us that. Yeah, indeed. And I think what we're seeing is the move at Dunkley going forward. The coach is saying, well, I know he can get 30 in the middle, but his 2 goals from the forward half are just as important. So we're going to push him there, and he'll start in the middle, as you can see, and he'll get down and be a concern at ground level later on in this quarter. So who can keep their head on, who can be able to absorb what was being told to them at three-quarter time, and then under the pressure of a game where a season can be on the line, can then have the calmness to execute in the right manner.
The result of this last quarter has connotations for 11 teams across the AFL. Both these teams in the battle for final spots, and the last quarter underway as Bruce gets up and takes a Bruce-esque kind of mark. when he's in fine form, and that's bad news. McGovern's missed games with that thumb this year.
Grabbed it straight away, Dwayne, too. Looked like he sort of knew, didn't it, when something happened. But this is where the pressure is here.
When he's hot, one of the hottest forwards in the comp, and he hasn't been hot in recent times, and that's very cold. On the full to start this last quarter. Let's take a look at Jeremy McGovern. He gets just pushed under the ball.
Wasn't much in it, was he?
Not sure how he's done his thumb. Bruce gets there to attack this. Carbon copy. Plays on quickly, and he missed Hunter. Got a little bit too excited. Hunter gives him a pat on the head and says, "You had the right idea wanting to give it to me."
Well, it's a great start to the quarter from Josh Bruce. Went over to mark against McGovern, but it's got to, that's what I'm talking about. Just keep your head on straight.
Back into play, Kelly. Slams on the boot, gets plenty of territory. Gardner, boundary line was there, but he couldn't make it obvious. Cordy, he keeps it alive. McRae, he keeps it alive. Hunter, he keeps it alive. Bontempelli, Gaff. Two of the big stars of the comp head-to-head. Gaff, Bontempelli, wrapped up. Redden gets on the end of the Sheridan. Sheed, not met too high by Bruce. Close to the line, taken out. Well, Dom Sheed executed an unbelievably good handball to release at the last clearance, the last throw-in. And I think he'd be entitled to get pretty upset with Liam Ryan, who didn't execute the tackle. They got to ram position. The tackle was broken. Now they're back in defence. McLean. Harder bends it around. English back with a flight. Nearly took a monster.
Sydney Greenwald style. That's a great effort.
Well, he got the first clearance, centre clearance. It gave them field position. They just got to get the first goal, and English looks up and about in this last quarter. He goes for this against Hickey. The pinball's back to Sheed, and he rolls it back towards the boundary line, and it tantalisingly stayed in for an extra bounce.
I think Lynchy, Braden Ainsworth might have been given the job of sitting on Caleb Daniel, if you can check that one out, because Daniel will become so important in this last quarter.
Absolutely.
McGovern still is concerned about that thumb. Hunter. Gaff. Well, Toby McLean has been like a second jumper on Andrew Gaff. He's really made it difficult for him. And you can just see how tough it is at the present time for Andrew Gaff to have an influence.
Only, Jared.
Yep. Bontempelli somehow to Bailey Smith, to Lloyd. Hits a good spot with his kick. Bruce gets up there. McGovern held his ground. Rotherham. And how will the umpire judge that? Throw it in.
Yeah, you're spot on, Gaz. Braden Ainsworth hasn't left the side of Caleb Daniel. Obviously, he's been such an important player in the first three quarters. They're trying to take that asset away from the Bulldogs.
There it is, that battle. Hickey, got a palm down. Kelly. Lloyd on hands and knees. And he wins himself a free.
It's in the territory battle again. It's all the Dogs. They've had it played in their half since quarter time.
Suddenly, with Bruce taking marks, they're thinking of bombing it long. So he does. Can he get up again? He got up there. Wallace was there for the crumb. Dunkley's there for the crumb, but he slips. Feeds it back in. Oh, flicked through. And it was knocked through. No, throw through. Behind.
65%, 35 since quarter time. Forward half for the Western Bulldogs.
Jetta. Puts it into space. Waterman gets up. No arm chop. Yes, arm chop. Umpire initially waited that split second and paid it. Archie.
Front on contact, Western Bulldogs.
So front on contact, Cordy's free here.
And this it's underrated defence of the Western Bulldogs. They've just denied the West Coast Eagles since quarter time of entering their most dangerous part of the ground every time.
Play on.
Zane Cordy pumps it down the line. Dunkley from behind. gets his own crumb and wobbles it inside 50. Hickey read it brilliantly. Been aided and abetted by some team defence all over the ground. Yet to go inside the forward 50. They've been inside their forward half a little bit, but they can't get it deep, the Eagles.
This is what we haven't seen, Jared, the change of direction, and even when they do, they're set up well, the Dogs. We've got to get up and go here, get some run from behind, get some overlap.
Ryan goes inside with the kick to Nelson. Goes outside with a handball. Shepherd got some space. Heads along. Darling. Great grab. He sized it up from a long way out, and he got his step pattern right to get a good leap on it. And this is huge. Well, it was started by William Ryan. He won the ball, and then it was methodical. Hit target, see target, hit target. But this one was a genuine contested ball. What a great mark. That's his set shot. Career numbers from this spot, all grounds. He kicks this. The West Coast Eagles are back in front. And he's missed it.
And those goals don't get kicked in the modern era, Jared, Dwayne. But that was Hickey in the back half. That was change of direction. That was play on. It was Shepherd coming inside. It was a different look.
And are they another man down, Lynchy?
Not that I know of, just Hutchings at this stage.
Cordy. Dunkley. McLean looks up, nothing there. Full 360. Barras got a fist on it. Cole crumbs it. Sheed looked up, he knew he had a target there. Cole, Duggan, Western Bulldogs converge. Ball up. And I reckon the Eagles could push up a little bit more. When the Dogs take a mark, they got to push up to prevent that handball release.
Yeah, we're seeing one, Oscar Allen for the night, that actually confronted someone from the front. And you've got to know that the handball's coming. So here's that thumb that we saw in the first marking contest of the last quarter. So deal with that in an hour and you worry about the long term afterwards.
Redden on hands and knees, caught by Dunkley. Duggan, caught by Liberatore. He just kind of handed it out, and the umpire cut him some slack. West Coast have another game this Thursday, St Kilda at the Gabba. So whether they've rested Nick Naitanui or he's injured, McGovern's now got a problem. Hutchings has been out with that hamstring for most of this game, injured that early on. Duggan, Waterman, Gaff. Bounces along the line to Waterman, but he can't get away with it. Ball in. There is Nick Naitanui. Jamie Cripps also on the sideline. Shannon Hearn, Luke Shuey, Elliot Yeo.
Be handy right about now at this exact stoppage, I reckon, for the Eagles.
On the man, West Coast.
Redden free? No. To Jetta. Allen, good attack. But the handball to Hickey, great smother. Crozier put his body on the line. Yeah, that was really good work. Picked up two men. Killed the footy. Gives them another chance. Had some territory, had a bit of control here, the Eagles, the last 3 or 4 minutes. The margin's pretty much been 1 or 2 points for almost a half a footy now. It's been tight. Hutter gets it back outside defensive 50. Great grab, Wallace to put it to grass. Nearly had it. Just so it showed, though, how good he is with his body. He out-muscled Nelson. McCoskey showing McGovern a couple of things on the replay. In the meantime, Dunkley. Lloyd. Bontempelli with a couple to beat. Got it to Grant to Wallace. Feeds the handball back to Barras. Not 15. If he backed it out, it would have been a ball in. He kept it alive and almost turned it over. Dunkley saw it knocked down. Redden back towards the wing. A 2-on-2 down there. Cordy wins it. Flicks it to Crozier. Looks back inside to Cordy. Stolen though by Sheed. Open forward line. Didn't like what he had. Gave it to Gaff. He waits. He pulls the kick. That is as good as it gets to Kennedy. They waited and waited. And then the opportunity presented.
They can win the game when it's 5 goals to 4, and we've already had Darling have an opportunity to miss from a similar distance. So the next goal could probably win, given the way the game's unfolding.
But we saw it just in the small box there, just how that ball was won. It was critical, and the Eagles came out on top. Just needs the Kennedy finishing touch, and 30 seconds of a high-quality footy puts the West Coast Eagles back in front. Yeah, that was a critical ball to win. Ball was centre field. 3 or 4 players from both sides around it. It was up for grabs who was going to win it, and it ended up being the Eagles. Here's the ball around the corner. Ball hits the deck. Okay, it's there to be won. And again, we go to ground. And this ball is going everywhere. They had control, and yet it was the pressure of Jack Darling once again that dragged it to the deck.
So Dom Sheed's had a couple of moments in this game. He's kicked the goal when no one else could, when it was bumbling around, and then he gets his hand here and holds it and holds it and holds it, and then releases gaff. And that just allows him to get past the tiring English and doesn't give Cordy the chance to get a hand to him. So, I mean, just it is moments. Lynchy called it. You've got a low-scoring game like this. There are a couple of moments which will define it. Now, the challenge for the Bulldogs is to get McRae to have one of those moments, or Bontempelli, or Hunter, one of their elite midfield groups.
Still a ton of time left. English knocks it down with gaff. We're standing in the hole. Liberatore steals it. Gave it to McRae. He blasts at 60. Almost Barras got a hand on it. Wallace flicks it up. Lloyd turns in. Nelson was waiting for him. Throw. That was a good pack hunt. In reality, that was looked like a genuine shot, but they hunted as a group, and Nelson nailed the tackle. Shepherd to Barras, to Duggan. Again, they tightrope the boundary with perfection. Gaff short to Kennedy.
Gee, that's 3 great kicks from the Eagles.
Caught by Cordy, no handle. That could be the big moment. McLean, Daniel, Bruce. He pumps it along. High. Wallace has got a couple to beat. Won't beat them in the air. Barras. Trademark Barras. Pick off mark. There's the point you're making, Gary. Just keeping your head, keeping your cool. Don't bomb it in just because the scoreboard's close. Barras hasn't gone anywhere. He's still down there. McLean. Again, that bomb inside. McGovern stands under this one. Block.
Bulldog.
That's a Bulldog block. Rourke Smith.
It's against Rotham, or Rotham rather. They had numbers. They had the numbers. They were out. They just won a mark from an opposition kick. Rotham probably trying to do the right thing, trying to think team, but was just untidy. So we spoke about, yes, being composed with the ball. The Bulldogs haven't been the last 2 inside 50s, but they're going to get a shot to go back in front.
Back into the lineup this week, Rourke Smith, just his 3rd game of the season, and he hasn't kicked a goal all year. Has now. Bulldogs back in front. Well, it came against the flow of play. The Eagles had that ball out. They were on the centre wing, and we can't see what was forward where he came back and bought, but it was a brilliant tackle that gave them a couple of opportunities, and in the finish, inexperience has given them an opportunity. Free kick definitely there.
Yep, no problem at all. The Cordy tackle, we should never, ever forget that either. He's had a couple of bad moments, Cordy, but that was a huge moment that got him back in the contest. So they get the goal, Jared, but the 2 entries were exactly what they don't want. I heard Lynchy down on the ground. He was moaning about the fact that they went in and kicked it straight to an opposition.
What they would like is a centre clearance. They haven't had one in this term. The West Coast Eagles, and the Dogs have had it on their term, starting each time at centre half forward.
Keep your head here. This is why Sheed and Gaff had a moment. Just got to be composed with ball in hand. You will find a target late in the game, always.
So how big is it for West Coast Eagles to not have Nat Nui for that? They had to put Allen into the ruck. She gets there. Caught. Smith. Caught. Got it to Liberatore. Runs to 70. Hits a pretty good spot with the kick to Wallace. Just out of his reach. Bruce kept it in. Hutter normally crafty. Wallace scoots it back. Williams looks up. Nothing forward, goes back to Smith. A flick handball over his head. Back to Williams. Norton got there and took one of the marks of the year. The astronaut. Right man, right time.
He was laughing. I don't know whether he was laughing on the way down or laughing when he got up, but he enjoyed it. It was a fantastic grab. And again, it was one of those kicks that doesn't go to the spot. It was a mongrel sort of a kick, and then it allows him to get a run and jump at it. Big, big moment this. 2 goals in 5 minutes to win a game for the Eagles if he kicks this.
And he misses. Wow. Well, they've got field position. They can turn it into a 7-point play if they can win it back. McGovern captaining the West Coast Eagles tonight. Thumb re-strapped. Important kick. Sends it in the Allen territory. Allen secondary knockdown. What a wide to O'Neill, and they're off. Ryan, 2 against him. Beats them both. Back pedals. To the pocket, he's got Kennedy short. He ignores that. He's got the option top of the square. He centers it. How good is that to Cole? It doesn't get any better than that for poise and for brilliance. He's one of the great kicks of the competition now, this young bloke.
Well, it's not just the kick, though, is it?
That's the decision.
Yeah, that's the composure, the moment. Late in a game with ball in hand, you will find a teammate nearly every time if you're prepared to take the responsibility on.
Still needs to be converted. So Norton had the chance down the other end. Couldn't kick it. Cole drifts down. He's out of his postcode down this end, but he nails the big moment. West Coast back in front. Well, they've got the close one. It's an absolute cracker, this one. It might be low scoring, but at the end of the day, they always end up exciting. And Oscar Allen, he is the bloke I'd like to be playing with, Gary. He just seems to find a moment when the game is up to be decided. But this was one of the great kicks. He could have gone long. He could have gone long to Jake. But Jake was going to be covered, I think, with the ball flight. He's actually picked out the right option and delivered it.
And this is how reputations grow. Liam Ryan's got a reputation for doing the unbelievable, the marking and the goals, all that sort of stuff. What we've seen tonight, though, is his reputation enhanced because what he does, creating goals for others. And that's why, and as harsh as it is, Aaron Norton's reputation takes a big hit. He's had 2 gilt-edged opportunities to kick goals from 30 metres and missed them both.
Well, the last set of clearance was won, well, the hit-out was won by the Eagles, but the takeaway was won by the Dogs. Let's see if either ruckman can connect with their ground-level player. From the restart, Allen knocks it down. Smith kicks it off the deck, rolls its way inside 50. Cole couldn't trap that. McLean does, sends it back, full forward, big fist. Norton hits the deck. Hutter hits the crumb. Wallace feeds it back inside. McRae basketballed it to himself, gave it back to Lloyd, gave it back to McLean, gave it back to Williams, one way then the other, looks up and he's got Smith. He floats it to the bolt, and Marcus Bontempelli gets his big moment. Couple of missed tackles there, really flicked the ball around well, the Dogs, and finally got one that went about 12 metres to be marked.
But it was Bailey Smith. He's composed, he says, I'll get it to the skipper, now here's your moment.
To give his Dogs back the lead, that should feed back. It feeds back. Hasn't got the carry, or has it? They like it. What's the call?
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
It's been called a goal.
Story view.
There needs to be definitive evidence to overturn that call.
I don't know, Wayne.
And the whole of the ball needs to be over the back of the whole of the post.
Is that a gap between the ball and the post?
Is there a shadow of ball on the post there?
Oh, it's the other side, actually. It's the inside, isn't it? What a magnificent kick. The difference between him having one of his great moments is a millimetre.
I think we need a middle frame.
Is that all ball past that post?
I think there's a shadow of ball in front.
Looking at this angle, there is insufficient evidence to confirm or overturn the umpire's call. Reverting to the umpire's call.
The goal stands. Insufficient evidence to overturn it. Well, at the end of the day, that is just great conversion. It's a hell of a kick. It came back with the wind. He's poked it out to Alistair Lynch's right-hand goalpost. It just drifted back on the wind, and it got over by a millimetre.
It's been one of the few knocks on Marcus Bontempelli. Just not a massive knock, but the fact is he hasn't kicked the goals at times when he's needed to. That's from outside 50 metres.
Yep.
On a night where players have been struggling to get it from that side of the ground. That is a huge, huge moment. We didn't see that side, did we?
Well, the Arc sees every bit of vision available, so they would have seen that shot as well.
Well, it's irrelevant now. It's in the book, and it's a magnificent conversion. And we've got 3 minutes on the clock. Huge, huge goal.
Wow. And the connotations for the win or loss in this game for both these teams are massive. Talked about it a lot. The Bulldogs will be inside the 8 tonight if they can win it. But Kelly has other ideas. Little flick down. Ryan. Can he create something? He's on the lazy Susan. Does the 360. Feeds it back to Sheed. He's nearly caught. Feeds it back to Jetta. He's got some time and space. Sends it long. Big grab English. That's two big defensive marks in this term.
Hey, that's the future of your footy club, Jared. Yeah. That's your superstar captain at one end, and that's your, hopefully, your 10-year ruckman at the other.
Kicks it wide in hope, and Bontempelli. A couple of huge moments from the Bont. Great men, great moments. This has been worthy of a final, this game, and he has risen to the occasion. Rourke Smith. Down to 2 minutes now. Dogs by 2 points. All the way back to Crozier.
Oh, don't want to make a misstep here. The conservative play down the line, get it out of bounds.
And he pumps it down the line. Barras. Great work by McGovern. That was a good double act. McGovern took Bruce's run, didn't give away a free kick. He blasts it long. Flying Ryan stays down. Lets the pack go up. Big fists from the Dogs. See it out.
Norton behind the footy. That was his fist that punched the ball out. So he goes to slot in. Make it harder for a Darling or a Kennedy to take a contested mark. It's the lower one. It's the composed kick that will do the damage if they're able to.
The two premiership coaches head-to-head, Adam Simpson, Luke Beveridge. But it gets to the stage now where you just got to let them play. Jetta heads long. Big pack. Darling pressed it down. Ainsworth ridden a little, not too much. Daniel keeps it in the area. And Adam Simpson has sent the message out to McGovern, Jeremy McGovern, go forward. They had the extra behind the ball. He didn't want that. Just get up there and win the game. English with the palm down. Free kick. West Coast ball. It's Darling's ball.
How did that happen? You've got the ruckman that's full time against the centre half forward. Let's have a look at this, Jared. This is your area.
Well, he just went for a little push in the back.
Oh, shit. He's a smart breeze here.
In he skips. From 48, and he's kicked it wide. And there's less than a minute left now. And it's a 1-point game. We've looked at the connotations for the win and the loss for these two. We haven't looked at the connotations for a draw. Johannesson, 50 seconds in counting.
Well, intercept marks the killer here.
He sits it up. Hickey flies. English. Second grab.
Character Dwayne.
Just needs to show some poise.
Now you've got to get a boundary so you can get it out.
Sits it up for the 50-50. Barras gets up there. Goes to the fist. Ball flicked down. McRae gets it out the back. The seconds tick, tick, tick. Ball out of play. Ball in. 16 left.
Well, what a huge result this is going to be for the Western Bulldogs. Doors ajar against the Eagles. Given an opportunity, and they're going to take it, I think.
Back into play. Liberatore looks up, gave to Hunter, feeds it out wide. McLean gets one for too high. Seconds left on the clock, and this has been brilliant from the Dogs. Siren sounds. And the Western Bulldogs' finals chances enhanced by one of their best wins of 2020 against their biggest scalp of 2020. Now take a bow, Tim English. He's been pushed out of the ruck at various stages the last couple of weeks. Well, in the final quarter, he said, it's me. I'm going to be the man who makes a difference. And he has. He made a major difference. They came into this game having not beaten any of the big guns as that bends around for a behind. But they have now a win over the West Coast Eagles by 2 points in the end. 6-13-49 for the West Coast. 7-5-47. Well, it's huge in the context of the latter of their season. They want to play finals. They had to knock off the Eagles. They gave them a chance late in the quarter. The Eagles weren't good enough to take it, but that was just, after they were 4 goals down at quarter time, that was just a great turnaround victory.
It was a great win, Jed, because when that nearly comes out of the side, you know, you go, okay, here's another good edge. Not to say they couldn't win if he had played, but the fact of the matter is they get a much better look at it, and they took the chance. And that's why if you're a Bulldog supporter, you're at home in your lounge room and you're really proud of your footy club because there's an opportunity there and they said, yep, we'll take it. And that man there, Marcus Bontempelli, just underlined again while this goal-kicking malaise that we've got in competition is something that we need to pay more attention to.
And they'll take that. Don't worry about percentage when it's that skinny.
Jack Darling had a chance.
He had 2 or 3 chances.
He had a chance. Norton had a chance. They both couldn't nail it. And that's what separates Bontempelli from those blokes tonight. And that's harsh, but that's a fact. And that's where we sit.
Let's head downstairs. Alistair Lynch.
Thanks to Dwayne with Marcus Bontempelli, the star of the show. What an important win for you.
It was. We were neck and neck probably the whole game bar that first quarter. We definitely felt like probably should have been a little bit closer. Didn't make enough of our probably good start with inside 50s, but we got there in the end.
We're talking about it in the last quarter. It come down to moments.
Yeah.
And probably you've had a shot from 55 out and... the boys had missed. They've been really putting pressure on the team, but take us through that shot.
A little bit. Well, I'd had a similar one probably down that end, into the breeze a little bit, and probably even that one I didn't get that sweet, but just managed to give it enough and probably a B-stick in it, I reckon, on the line. So, yeah, pretty close.
Well, it was enough. Other moments, young Tim English, he's had some highs and he's probably struggled in different games. Huge in that last 5 minutes.
Yeah, really strong. You saw his aerial ability, which we're really lucky to have someone with his sort of mobility that can cover the ground, and took some really good sort of pack marks when we needed them. We probably hadn't had him probably for the first couple of quarters, and then he's just so mobile. He can cover the ground so well. So anytime we can get him free in the air, but I think his ruck stuff was pretty good today as well. He's continuing to grow and build that sort of game in him. So yeah, really good tonight.
As you touched on, you're under the pump in that first quarter. What was the talk at quarter time? What did you have to change?
Yeah, I think it was just a bit about composure. We were a bit rush ball in hand, and we knew going into the game they've got great aerial plays in the back line in McGovern and Barras, and really had to lower the eyes a little bit. We managed to do it a little bit better in the second half. And then, even though we missed a little bit, we were still sort of hunting around the right spot. So, all in all, a good win.
Well, outstanding win. You had plenty of Bulldog supporters back home under the pump during. You probably should have iced it a lot earlier, but congratulations, great performance.
Thank you very much. Just happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Obviously, a lot of us here can't be with them in a minute. So, for all those back at home in Victoria and all around the country, happy Father's Day.
Well done.
So it's the Bulldogs home in a thriller, and they now sit on the verge of the top 8 with 2 very winnable games to come, and it may have cost West Coast a spot in the top 4. If you're a Bulldogs fan, stick around. We've got the song coming up, and if you like a laugh, well, then I guarantee you need to stick around because some of the stuff coming up on Bounce really shouldn't be broadcast.
Oh, this is
Oh, good evening and welcome to Bounce. As always, it's great to have your company on a Sunday night. And Bounce always brought to you by our great friends at Ford. Massive show coming up tonight. As I mentioned a moment ago, Bulldogs fans, stick around. We'll get to your song very, very shortly. We've got a spelling bee coming up tonight. I promise you don't want to miss this. This is something. Seriously, something. We should all